Hey guys, welcome to my channel and myself your host Pabitra here, and as you know that I have started az-104 series. So today the topic which I am going to discuss with you is configure role-based access control. So let's start. So the learning objectives from this module would be like identify features and use cases for role-based access control, list and create role definitions, create role assignments, identify differences between Azure RBAC and Microsoft Entra roles, identify or manage access to subscriptions with RBAC, review built-in Azure RBAC roles. So this would be your learning objectives. So let's start with the introduction. The objectives of Azure, why do we have RBAC in Azure, right? So Azure administrator needs to secure access to their Azure resources. Like there are different resources, virtual machines, websites, networks, and storage. So administrators need mechanism to help them manage such accesses, like who can access what resources and what actions are allowed. So organizations that do business in the cloud recognize that securing their resources is a critical function of their infrastructure. So let's say the objective. So ensure security of Azure resources by controlling access to the corporate data. Like who can access some data which are confidential, who can access data which is less confidential or is intended to which team. So like that, if that is your requirement, then you should have an RBAC setup into your environment. Challenge. The main challenge is to manage who can access the virtual machines, websites, and managing all these things manually is a very difficult task. But Azure has that feature that can help you manage, which is RBAC, right? Then the solution. So research and implement Azure rollback access control means that you have to research about rollback access control and how can you better utilize in your environment. Like I can study about RBAC in Azure and then I can implement a feature like only this set of people can access a printer which is supposed to be accessed by a finance team who actually prints all the audit reports. But I do not want to give the printer access to everyone in the organization. Otherwise, everybody will be end up doing all the sending up all the pages for print, and the company may incur lots of cost because everybody started printing out papers and there is no restriction and anybody can just go ahead and submit for print. So that way you can control the actions as well. Then the key things here is you have to create a role definitions and assignments. What does that mean? Like a custom role for suppose a VM operator with permissions to start and stop virtual machines is an example, right? For custom role. Then the use case should be it allows specific employees to manage the VMs without broader administrative rights. That's what create role definitions and assignments mean. Then specify roles and access privileges. So here I can take example like assign the network contributor role to IT staff for network configuration. So here the use case is we can control access to all the network settings without granting unnecessary permission. So he will be assigned access to only manage the network configuration because he is a network contributor now. He can only manage the network configurations and he will not be able to do any other things like restarting the VM or creating a user. So his role is defined pretty much. Then utilize built-in Azure RBAC roles. So there are multiple built-in roles which you can take help of Azure because in the Azure portal, if you go to roles or IAM in roles assignment, you will find lots of roles which are there inbuilt. So you can take help of those inbuilt roles as well based on your requirement. Like for example, I can say you can assign a reader role to auditors for read-only access to resources. So auditors can just see, okay, these are the resources which are created, which are for which the company is getting built for. So that is an example, and the use case will be provides visibility without allowing modification. So no need for any modification, you just have to add the reader rule to that particular user. And then manage access to subscriptions using RBAC. So subscriptions access can also be managed by RBAC. Like for example, you can delegate management of a specific subscription to a project manager using owner role. So owner role will give them unconditional access to do whatever they want in that particular subscription. Like somebody who is a CSO or a project manager or somebody who is in the management level can be assigned an owner role for that particular subscription, who can manage everything and have good amount of access to that particular subscription. And he can do multiple things, like owner role is giving them good level of access. And use case is it enables granular control over subscription access. That's what it is. So finally, we can say that it facilitates a structured user access to the resources, and it helps you better manage the access. Okay. So now let me go back to the next slide. Implement role-based access control. So here you can see that securing access to cloud resources is crucial for business, and RBAC is offering that solution, right? And Azure RBAC has also built-in roles and all those things which you can take help of, and this provides access management for Azure resources. So generally you can use RBAC roles to manage the environment, manage the organization, manage the access permissions and all. So I'll talk about some important points here. There is security principle, right? So it represents entities that are requesting resources access. So a service principle defines the entities which are actually requesting for the access to the resources. So examples, users, groups, managed identities, examples are like the key identities. Then comes role definition. So here you specify or allow operations with built-in or custom rules. That's the key takeaway from there. And examples could be reader, contributor, owner, user access administrator, etc., etc. Then comes scope. So it specifies the level of access boundary. So there should be a boundary and you have to define that. So that it means scope. You are scoping the access. And then examples can be, you can create a management group, you can create a subscription, you can create a resource group, and you can create a resource as well. Then comes assignment. So here you associate a role definition with a security principle at a specific scope. You understood? And examples could be assigning user access administrator role to admin group in a management group, and assigning contributor to a user in a subscription. That's an example. So yeah, let's move on to another slide. So example of Azure RBAC usage. So here I've talked about some examples, like allow an application to access all resources in a resource group, permit one user to manage VMs in subscription and another to manage virtual networks. So separating the access. Enable a DBA group to manage SQL databases in a subscription. A group managing a resource, type of resource in subscription. Empower a user to oversee all resources in resource group, including VMs, websites, and subnets. And now there are things which you have to consider before implementation. So those are requesters, roles, the scope of permissions, and we have built-in or custom definitions. So let's talk about requesters. So for that, the strategy should be plan for diverse access type from internal, external users, groups, applications, and resources. Then for roles, your strategy should be align roles with job responsibilities and work scenarios, and ensuring there are varied access levels for different user types. And scope of permissions: secure, measure, control security by defining precise permission and scope levels for the role assignments. So that is the scope of permissions. You have to control the security by defining precise permissions. You just simply cannot give all the permissions. So remove all the unnecessary, unwanted permissions and keep only the one which is most required for that particular role. That it means. And built-in or custom definitions. So you can utilize built-in roles directly or tailor them to meet your specific organizational needs, and create a custom role if necessary. Custom role is always there. You can also have a play around with some roles or some accesses in that. So that is the work of custom role. So you can just also keep that in mind. So whether you have to scope the permissions, or you can use built-in or custom definition rules, or what type of roles, and who is the requester? Like is he an internal user or external user or somebody third-party vendor? So that also you have to keep in mind. So by understanding this and strategically implementing Azure RBAC, your organization can achieve fine-grained access control and safeguarding corporate data and assets in the cloud. Yeah. So let's go to another slide. Create a role definition. So now I am here. This talks about how you can create a role definition. Like what it is. It's a rule book for computer tasks. Okay, it has all the rules. Contributor role, for example. So contributor role allows you to do many things under that particular subscription or for that resource for which you have given access to. It's giving you very good level of access. The access permissions can do anything. We'll talk about contributor role here. So the access permissions can do anything wherever that role has been given to. If it is for resource, can do anything. If it is for subscription, can do anything. Not actions permissions can't delete important stuff or mess with special settings. Data actions permissions can do anything with data. Assignable scopes can be used anywhere. Role definitions and built-in roles, ready-made roles like owner, contributor, and reader. So now comes role permissions. What are role permissions? So owner role can do everything, as I said, right? And contributor role can do a lot, but no messing with the important settings. And reader role can only look and do nothing. So that is what it is. And then role scopes. So I was talking about role scopes. So assignable scopes examples can be used in specific places. So role scope is generally where you are going to place it, like how much you are going to give in a subscription or in a resource, like that. And creating roles. You can use built-in roles or you can make custom roles. Then access management considerations. Limiting the scope. Give only what's needed and like keys to the specific rooms. Controlling data changes. Decide who can change what, some things that need special permissions, and deny assignments. Say no sometimes, because there are some restrictions as well, right? So if you are giving some rules which says yes, there should be some rules which also says no for certain things. You can mention that in your rule book. Then create a role assignment. So this diagram talks about how you can create a role assignment. It shows a security principle here. And you see the three security principles are supported, like user, group, and service principle. So now you can see 6 built-in roles that are implemented. So you can see the roles, and then 2 custom roles are defined. So we also have 2 custom roles, like not actions and all. And then custom roles are defined. Then we have reader support tickets and virtual machine operator. Built-in contributor role has 2 sets of permissions, and actions and not actions. The contributor role is defined in a different scope. You can see here, and the contributor role is assigned in a different scope to the marketing group. Compare Azure roles. Now we are talking about. Let's talk about compare Azure roles to Microsoft Entra roles. So there are 3 types of roles which are available for access management in Azure. That is classic subscription administrator role, Azure role-based access control, that is RBAC, and Microsoft Entra administrator's roles. So when Azure was initially released, access to resources were managed with just 3 administrator roles, like account administrator, service administrator, and the other one was co-administrator. And access was controlled by assigning some admin roles to the subscription. So later RBAC for Azure resources was added, and Azure RBAC is a new authorization system that provides fine-grained access to management to the Azure resources. RBAC also includes some built-in roles that can be assigned and have a different scope. So in addition to Azure RBAC roles, Microsoft Entra ID provides built-in administrator roles to manage Entra resources like users, groups, and domains. Well, let's talk about Azure RBAC roles and Microsoft Entra roles. So this is the difference. So manage in Azure RBAC roles, here you can say that in the access management, manages who can do what in Azure, like creating and managing resources. For Microsoft Entra, manages who can do what in Microsoft Entra, handling users, groups, and domains. So it handles only those which are in the Microsoft Entra, whereas this manages those which are there in Azure, like creating and managing resources. Scope of assignment will be specifies where the role applies, like at management groups, subscriptions, or resource levels. But this applies at tenant level, deciding access across the entire Entra. So imagine like this is covering more level of access management. Role definition defined through Azure tools, portal, CLI, PowerShell, templates, REST API for various tasks in Azure. But here in Microsoft Entra, it is defined using Azure Admin Portal, Microsoft 365 Admin Portal, Microsoft Graph, PowerShell for entire Entra tasks. Okay. So this point is very important. This part is very important. If you want to take a screenshot of it, do take a screenshot, because in the interviews, if you are planning to attend the interview, they might come up ask these questions. And also when you are writing your exam, even this part serves very important and critical. Let me go to the next slide. So here, apply role-based access control. So what are they? RBAC. They are ready-made roles for different jobs in Azure. Okay. And categories for specific services, tasks, and other types of users. How to use? Assign them at different levels for different needs. You can even create your own special role based on these things, like custom roles. Then comes Microsoft Entra ID, which is having built-in roles as well. Like their job is to manage things in Microsoft Entra ID, like users and groups. Ready roles like global admin, application admin, and application developer, and how they help make managing Entra resources easier for your organization. Now, I would like to explain this diagram. See, the diagram illustrates how you can apply Microsoft Entra administrator roles and Azure RBAC roles in your environment, in your organization. You see, there is an Azure AD admin roles, Azure Active Directory tenant, so root, and then it goes to Azure RBAC roles. We have management group. This is a root management group. Then we have management group. And then comes Azure RBAC roles, like when you create a subscription. So this is very high level. Azure AD admin roles like global admin, application developer, billing admin. So these are the people who are directly handling your subscription on a very high level, like on the tenant level. So whenever they go and create a subscription, these people are needed. And finally, they create a subscription. These people create a subscription by creating a management group, which is creating a subscription. And from when the subscription is created, then an owner or a contributor can create Azure RBAC roles like owner, contributor, reader. So here also you have Azure RBAC roles, owner, contributor, reader, and roles. And similar to that, once the subscription is created, again you have Azure RBAC roles, which is owner, contributor, reader, and user access admin. So you can apply it to the resource group and the resources. Here also RBAC roles can be applied to the management group and the root management as well. But the person who is sitting on the top, global admin, user or access admin, has elevated access. And Azure AD admin roles like global admin, application admin, these are also very high level access like these guys having very high level access because they are getting access on the Active Directory tenant, which is created first, and then later everything is created. So these guys have full authority and full access and everything, like any mail notification, anything, even if not configured, these guys will be getting it firsthand. And any promotional offers or any discounts or maintenance or any advisory thing, these guys will get those information unconditionally before these guys do get all this information, because there you have to set up the alerts and configurations. Now we come to this slide where we are going to review the fundamental Azure RBAC roles. So what are they? They are ready-made roles in Azure, like game characters with specific powers. And how many? Over 100 roles ready for different tasks. Example of the power: if you have a read data role for a storage account, you can read blobs or messages inside it. So these are the things, and there are 4 fundamental roles: owner role, contributor role, reader role, and user access administrator role. So let's talk about them as well. So owner role, full boss mode. They have all the access, can do anything and share powers. Assigned to service administrator, co-administrator at the subscription level. They are the top guys. Then we have contributor role. So they can create and manage all types of things in Azure, and limitation is can't share its power with others. Then comes reader role. So job is can only look at existing things in Azure. Like if somebody is very newbie to your team or a student or a new joinee, will generally have a reader role. And UAC, that is user access administrator role, they can manage who gets to do what in Azure resources. So yeah, that's all for now, and I'll talk more about in the future video. So for now, let's go to this one, lab. So in the lab, I'll be showing you what are the roles, how to create and assign custom roles, portal overview, etc., etc. So let me go to the portal. Okay. So as I said, I wanted to show you how you can create roles and everything. So first of all, this is my subscription, and I'm in the subscription. You have to go to access control IAM. There, if you click on view my access, you will be able to see what all access you have. Once you know what all access you have, you see that I have service administrator access, has full access to all the resources in this subscription, that it means. So then I can just go on role assignments, and I can click on add role assignment. For suppose if I want to give someone reader role, I have to just select a reader. Then I have to go to next. Okay. And then select a member. Okay, and now review and assign. See, it's that simple. You can assign role assignments from the portal that way. Then if you go to roles, here you see owner role is there, contributor role is there, so many reader roles, so many different roles are there. Owner role grants full access to manage all the resources. So this is how you have to come and go and give the roles or assign the roles. Then you can also go to add a custom role. If you click on a custom role, so what will happen is create a custom role, it will say. So next thing what you can do is start from a JSON. So if I save a JSON file, like I'll just go and copy this, and I will save this file as a JSON. I'll just copy the subscription from here and then I'll put it over here. Okay, and I'll share my screen what I have done. So you see now, like I have just like So what I did was, like, I just copied the subscription name here and pasted over here. That's it. And then I will save this. .json. Okay, so I have saved the JSON file now. And now let me go back to the portal. And now if you see, if I go to here, custom role, and then I can just take it from here. So I just hit on select file here, and it is giving me an option to upload something, which you can see here. This is what I am able to see now. I'll just select the template which I have created, and it's in there, roles. I have named it as roles. Now just click on open. Just changing it to wait. And see, it is done. So custom role name, leader role Pabitra. Okay. Just given the same thing here. Click on next. Add some permissions. Okay, so you can just give some permissions over here. And then assignable scope. So here you can select the subscription, and I have already gave the name, right? Reader role Pabitra, and then I can just click on request. So it's asking me to add permissions. So right now I do not have permissions. If I click on permissions, it is giving me the error. So you could just do like this, and then you hit on next. It will create a custom role for you. So that's all, guys. So that's all for this lab, and this is for custom role, and I have also shown you how to see the roles assigned. So like if you go, I have gone into this subscription, and then I have selected owner role or any role. Like if I click on role assignments or add on role assignment, I give some anybody's email ID and I can assign the role. Likewise, there is another way of giving access. Like if you want to give access to a resource group, then what I can do is I can just click on any of the resource group. I go to access control, and even here also I can give a role, means a role assignment for a particular subscription. Like if I want to give a reader role, just click on next, select a member. You have to select a member from here. Just give a name. Select, and then next, and you just hit on review and assign. You'll be able to give the role to that person for that particular resource group. Now I have some more things to show you. What? Like if I have a resource like control node, a virtual machine. Okay, so if I go to that virtual machine, and even there also we have access control. Let me show you. It's taking time. So yeah, I'm into that resource group. Now I'm going inside the VM, and here as well I have access control IAM. So this is now I am giving role assignment to a resource specifically. I select reader role again, then I select members and enter the name. select, click on review and assign. That's it. You have to do to give a role assignment. And now let me go back to my PowerPoint. So guys, these are the questions. Question 1 is you have 3 virtual machines in a resource group. A new admin is hired. They need to able to access, modify settings on VM3. They shouldn't be able to make changes on VM1 and VM2. How can you implement this by RBAC to minimize the administrative overhead? So these are the choices. You just let me know the correct answer in the comment box. This is the second question. So what is the purpose of assignable scopes, permissions, and role definitions? These are your choices. Just give me the answer in the comment box and I'll correct you. Or give you the correct answer, sorry. And this is the third question. Explain the main difference between Azure roles and Microsoft Entra roles. You have 3 answers here. Just to let me know the correct answer and I'll help you with the correct answer on the comment box. So guys, thank you for staying with me on this course, and do like and subscribe my channel, and share it with the group and with other people who want to learn Azure and want to expertise this az-104 series, and I can help them on this journey. So thank you guys, and see you on another video.